Okay, so now it's time to take a look at another interesting topic, which is publishing agents in Microsoft Foundry. And this is one of the key areas where changes have come with the next Gen Foundry Agent Service. So as the name suggests, from development to deployment. Yes, you're not just developing, now you need to deploy it as well. So basically you've created your agent, you need to deploy it somewhere. So let's take a look how this is done. So first of all, it says it's say development to deployment or project to production, right? That is the aim of publishing. So first, the first phase is more of like development phase. If I read about it, it says agents are built and tested with Microsoft Foundry project, right? That's what we've been doing, right? We just went into say our portal.azure.com, we went to Foundry, we created a Foundry resource, we created a project. In that we actually created let's say a model deployment. On top of model deployment, we created an agent. We tested that agent, but is it usable? Not at the moment, right? It is usable in that sense that you go to the portal, you go to the Foundry, and then you test it. So it says it is designed for development teams to iterate quickly. Yes, the development teams can go there, check and work hard. But there is a need for publishing, because it says project level agents are not suited for broad distribution. Very true, right? Because if you think about it, right now my agent is sitting there residing inside the Foundry. If somebody else wants to use it, they don't have anything. They don't have an endpoint. That is the key here, right? So it says the shared context and permissions create security and access challenges at scale. Obviously, how, if you don't have an endpoint, how would you give access to that at scale? Because that's the beauty of being a thing in production as compared to in development, right? So, and it also acts as a gateway. So it says the crucial step transforms an agent from a development asset into a managed Azure resource. And what you will see is when you publish your agent, it will become an entity. In that sense, it will have its own endpoint. It would be accessible via stable production ready endpoint. That is the key. And then you can always protect your endpoint using some gateways as well, right? An Azure APIM. Let's quickly take a look at key benefits of publishing, and then we will actually take a look at a demo as well, how you can publish. First thing is sharing, right? As I said, everything is in development. You want to share, right? So you want to grant your teammates or customers access without exposing your entire Foundry project, right? That's the aim. Now your Foundry project could have, let's say 20 agents, but you just want to share only one agent. How would you do that? You need to publish it. Key point, which is a stable endpoint. As I said, you have 20 agents inside your Foundry, but if you want to share, you need to have a stable endpoint. So publishing will give you a consistent invocation URL across version updates and rollouts, and we will see that as well. Security and governance is very important because you can leverage Azure policy integration and distinct Entra identity. Now the good news is that Microsoft has come up with another product which you have like Entra ID, you have the agent Entra ID as well, where every agent will be considered as a non-human identity, right? The same way we have identities for humans, you will have identities for the agents as well, right? And they are integration ready, right? So the good thing about this is when I say once you have published, you can actually take it to Microsoft 365 Copilot, you can take it to Teams as well, right? So it can actually act as a digital worker inside the Agents 365, right? I think you got a good understanding. Now in the very next lecture, we'll take a look at a demo, how easy it is to use the publishing of agents. Thanks for watching.